there's a lot of great looking Sega Genesis games out there. You have your Sonics, your Mortal Kombats, your Mean Bean Machines, and other things like that. I mean, just take a look at Sonic 1 here. When this game came out, it blew away what gamers' expectations were. I mean, before this, they were used to stuff like Mario on the NES, or Mario Brothers 3, the NES and Master System both, well, more so the NES, was a very dull color system. And I'm not saying that just because, I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan or anything like that. It was just a very dull color system, period. The colors weren't vibrant, and you get something like Sonic with these vibrant colors and beautiful effects come around. And, well, now, with the Sega Genesis and 16-bit Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis coming out, there was a lot of beautiful looking games. So that's what we're going to look at today. My picks for my top 5 or maybe top 10 most impressive Sega Genesis games. Your pal Sega Slayer here, and I'm in the middle of editing this video, and I forgot to put this in at the start. You can hear me say it a few times in the video, but these are all my opinions. If there's a game not on this list, I'm sorry that you think should be on here. If you don't like a placement of a game on this list, again, I'm sorry, but these are all my opinions. And also, I mess up the order of the actual number of games at the beginning for a little bit, but I do end up correcting myself. Yeah, but I thought I should just state that. That being said, enjoy the video. Hey Slayers, I'm the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, Sega Slayer 64, and welcome to my top 5 or maybe top 10 Sega Genesis games. I'm thinking about doing top 10, but I think it would be appropriate to start off here with the arrival of the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis in North America, Japan, and Europe, and all the rest of the places. The world was really introduced for the first time to what video games could really be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these beautiful colors. And I think there would be no better option for my number 10 or number 5 pick here. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, probably number 10 though. But my number 10 pick for best graphics, no, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. When this game came out, I mean, dude, the backgrounds, the colors, this was blowing away the effects. I mean, look at the giant ring. This made most of the 8-bit games at the time look Stone Age old. Like, really. When this came out in 1991, this was blowing away expectations. This was showing off. This is where Sega really did a good job at and showing the power of the Sega Genesis. I mean, Sonic is fast. The colors are so vibrant and clean looking. They're so nice, and even today, the use of color here was absolutely astonishing, especially when you're comparing this to something like the recently released Super Mario Brothers 3 at the time. This literally blows that away in color capacity. You know what I'm saying? And shortly the Super Nintendo would come out, and obviously, you know what I'm saying, it would be just about on par with the Sega Genesis when it came to color. I mean, the Sega Genesis could do some, I know the Super Nintendo technically had more colors than the Sega Genesis, but there's no doubt there's some really great color games here, and no matter what stage you're on, Sonic 1 always looks good with color. That being said, that's my number 1 pick. I'll be back in a second with a number 2. And number 2 on the list, we have Treasures, McDonald's Treasureland, obviously. You know, but I mean, look at these graphics, okay? Oh man, sorry. Wait. Okay, you know I can't resist the music on this stage. You know I can't resist the music. But no, look at the color and the detail on some of these enemies. The enemies, you almost would think they were 3D sprites. If anything, this could pass for a 2.5D game. But this was, I mean, when was this? This was 93, right? 93, 94, 93, right? Yeah, this was 93, right? This was, hold on, let's see. Yep, 93. This was 93, and this was, oh my god, if this wasn't on par with most of the Super Nintendo games out there at the time when it comes to these, like, the 3D-ish graphics from your enemies being like almost cell shaded kind of, not cell shaded. Why did I say cell shaded? But almost having this like 3D texture on them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks amazing. Okay. I mean, like this, like I said, this was on par with anything the Super Nintendo was doing at the time, at least in my opinion, and as far as color and graphics. Because I know a lot of people also like to talk about how the Sega Genesis compared to the Super Nintendo in the later years used a lot duller colors. This game right here just shows what could be accomplished. I mean, look at the clouds in the background; they look 3D. Look at the little water pipe here; it looks like 3D. I mean, it's very convincing. Okay. The game is very convincing what it's trying to do with this little like almost 2.5D aspect ratio going on here. Not aspect ratio. What am I talking about? You understand what I mean? With this almost like 2D, 2.5D graphic style going on here, it looks great. It looks great, and that's why it's number 2 on this list for best looking Sega Genesis games. Be right back with number 3. And number 3 on this list. Now, some of you might say Vectorman probably deserves to be a little bit higher. And to that, I would say I decided to keep it lower on the list at number 3 because it's a really late release in the Genesis life cycle, which a lot of these ones in the later years are. And also, it's a 2D game. It's not like fully 3D or anything. So that's why I kept it this low in the list. But I mean, it's still extremely impressive. From the flags being straight up 3D. I mean, look at those flags, dude. Those flags are almost extremely 3D. The characters are very detailed and big. For like, I mean, this was a late release on the Genesis. The use of color is nice, but there's some straight up 3D effects in this game that just look amazing. You know what I'm saying? Just look amazing. And really, that's really it when it comes to Vectorman. I mean, the game as itself is good, but I mean, some of the animations in this game are just like amazing. From like, oh, dude, the flags are what really gets me. But some of the boss battles in this game can be pretty big, and all around, it's really worthy of the number 4 spot. Also, really fast, I do want to mention this real fast because I was going to have Vectorman 2 be the next one, but I decided to change my mind. What I'm actually going to do, the rules for this are actually 1 per series, okay? 1 per series, first off, and I'll probably re-put that at the beginning of so you'll probably see that at the beginning of the video, but I decided to do the rule was 1 per series, you know what I'm saying, and so 1 per series, and also no unlicensed, unofficial games, okay? So if it was made as like a homebrew, or it was made unlicensed or something like that, it has to be a licensed game for the Genesis, something you could have went to the store and got back in the day, and it would be the only reason I want to sue or import it or something. As long as it was officially sold, that's okay, because I don't want to have anything on this list, you know, that's unofficial, unlicensed or anything. I want to keep this purely Genesis only, okay? That being said, we'll move on with number 5. And in number 5, we have Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, representing the entire Mortal Kombat series on the Sega Genesis. Mortal Kombat, man. I mean, when this came out, this blew away everything. Not only did it change the world of fighting games, it changed the world of video games in general. Just showing what was possible with full-on characters literally animated into the game. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And now that's an industry standard. You know what I'm saying? You got games like, let's see, Grand Theft Auto 5 and all that, where these real-life characters are obviously most recently Cyberpunk, but you have these real-life characters being put into the game. But this, at the time when this came out, and I'm talking about the first Mortal Kombat, by the way, when the first Mortal Kombat came out in both arcades and the Sega Genesis, it looked amazing, okay? This was something never before done, you know what I'm saying? So people seeing this for the first time, their minds were blown back in the day. Now, like today, me and you were like, hey, that's nothing. But back in the day, man, this was something special. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, while I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying, I still know that this was something special, and the world was on fire when Mortal Kombat came out. Now, the Mortal Kombat series would later face difficulties and, you know, with the violence, blood, and being censored on certain consoles, Super Nintendo, SNES. But other than that, I mean, if we're just talking about graphics wise, both versions, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, did a fine job. And even on 8 bits, the game didn't look too bad. Unless you're the Game Boy, because the Game Boy just kind of was, oh god. I mean, they had essentially the Game Boy and Game Gear had the exact same sprites, but the color with the color missing on Game Boy, it was really hard. But that's why this game right here ranks number 5 on my list for coolest, for best looking Sega Genesis games. That being said, I did that friendship without even noticing. That being said, let's move on with number 6. I'll be back. Now listen, okay, listen, because I know I can hear some of you out there. Sega Slayer, what are you doing? Why is virtual racing in the number 6 spot? Right, it was number 6, right? No, I mean no. Why is it in the Wait, no, because we were going down from 10, right? So 10, 9, 8, right? 7, 6. I think we're on 6. Hold on, I'm gonna have to count real fast. Okay, yeah. We're on 6. I just had to make sure real fast. But yeah, you're probably like, Sega Slayer, why are you putting this in the number 6 spot? Well, my kind friend, you know what I'm saying? This is going in the number 6 spot because it uses the SVP chip, and that's the only reason it wouldn't rank number 1 on this list, because it probably would. But the thing is, right? I wanted to rank this list on the most graphically impressive Sega Genesis games, and originally I wasn't going to even include this on the list, but I thought about it, and it is technically a Sega Genesis game, but there are some more graphically impressive Sega Genesis games out there that don't use the SVP chip, and that's really just. I mean, this has help. It's an unfair advantage, you know what I'm saying? And if you'll understand where I'm coming from if you really think about it for a second. Yes, this is graphically impressive. Yes, it does look amazing. It is outstanding what they were able to achieve. But at the same time, the SVP chip really... I mean, the SVP, it's extra help. You know what I'm saying? I think some of the other entries on this list, particularly number 1, deserves that high spot because it doesn't use something like an SVP chip or a 32X or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you'll understand what I'm saying. Yes, if this was any list and I was actually not only doing Sega Genesis games. Basically, if this was another list about the most graphically impressive 16-bit Sega games, this would have ranked number 1 right off the bat, okay? But with it using the SVP chip, in this particular list, it doesn't do it any help. It doesn't do it any favors, okay? So that being said, that's why this is in number 6, okay? I'll be back in a second with number 5. In number 5, we have Mickey Mouse's World of Illusion. Now, this game right here, what really makes this game, and some of you might be saying, sorry, this is just a normal 2D game. What makes this so special? What makes this so special is this was actually hand animated by Disney animators. Yes, it was, and man, oh man, it shows. This really does have that beautiful Disney style to it that I personally just love. By the way, this is a personal list, so some of you might not agree, like I said, but I mean, I agree. I think that, well, obviously I agree, it's my list, but I mean, the hand-drawn, I mean, just look at the detail on something like the mushroom, look at the detail on something like those mushrooms right there. You can see the Disney awe in this, and I love that. From Mickey, look at Mickey's different facial expressions. I mean, he has different facial expressions for what he's doing, and it looks and sounds great, but sounds nothing. And the animation is just so fluid, though. It's so nice, and I love it. I mean, let's be honest here. No matter what generation you are, you grew up with some type of Disney movies. You know what I'm saying? Just about every generation. Just about almost every generation that would actually be alive today grew up with some type of Disney animations, you know what I'm saying? And it just has that charm to it that just can't be beat. So that, and you might be saying, well, why is this above something like virtual racing? Well, again, the SVP chip, you know what I'm saying? That would be the only reason, but I mean, the animation here is just so good, and I'm stuck. I don't think. Oh, never mind. I'm supposed to crouch. The animation here that was just so nice and fluid, and you can just. I mean, just look at, like I said, look at Mickey for example. He has so many different facial animations, from falling to running to attacking to crouching to crawling. So many different animations from being damaged. It's so nice, and that's why this ranks as number 5 as my number 5th graphically impressive Sega Genesis game. Be right back with number 4. Now, good old Toy Story. Of course, this was going to be number 4. Did you think anything else would be number 4? I mean, look at the title screen. Look at this. Let me take you into the options menu. Look at that controller. Look at the controller, man. The controller. Listen, I recommend the channel if you're interested in Toy Story. Some of this stuff was not even possible. If we reset this real fast, right? A channel called Game Hut, which is run by Mr. John Burton, who was the owner and lead developer of most of these old Traveler Tales games, including Sonic R, Sonic 3D Blast, Toy Story, and a bunch others. Right here, I mean, he explained how they got this full color image on the Sega Genesis. This isn't technically possible on the Sega Genesis. This game doesn't use any special chips or anything like that. He just explained the techniques he used. Or the Toy Story logo. Or look, the Toy Story logo was fully 3D. You saw that. Or these full color images from the movie. These shouldn't be possible on the Sega Genesis. But he explained how he got them on here and how he got them to work. And he used multiple different coding secrets that are just, oh my god. I mean, look at that bench over there. Just look how 3D this game looks. This game is absolutely beautiful. And if anybody deserved that number 4 spot on the list, it's definitely this game. I mean, just look at the graphics, dude. Some of the stuff here is 3D. Originally this was going to be number 1, but I remembered another game that just deserved the number 1 spot more, regardless of how I feel about it. This one here, though, I mean, look at the characters. They're fully in 3D. I mean, it's amazing. There's also a fully 3D Doom-style level, plus an RC car racing level that are both in full 3D on the Sega Genesis, okay, later on in the game, and you know what I'm saying? They look amazing, okay? They look amazing, and of course, this game just deserved this number 4 spot, and I don't care what anyone says, this is the number 4th best looking Sega Genesis game of all time. And if this was a 2D only list, this would have ranked number 1 straight up, but it's not. That being said, I'll move on. I think I gushed over enough over Toy Story. I mean, but still, some of the animations they were able to do, I did a full review on this game, and you can hear me gush about it more there if you want to go see it. But I mean, the animation here is just outstanding, okay? I'll be back in a second with number 3. What am I doing? Why? Okay, Batman Forever. You know I hate this game, okay? 2 videos, both on 8-bit and the 16-bit version. I hate this game. But there is no denying that this game looks pretty nice, okay? It looks terrible, but it looks kind of nice, okay? I mean, look at Batman. He's almost fully 3D there, right? And you have the little model of the city right there, which kind of looks very like 3D-ish. Then you fully spinning 3D. I mean, look at Batman. Okay, these are full on actual real people. I mean, I don't know. I think I don't think they mesh. I think they kind of don't really mesh well with the setting of the actual game itself. There's no doubt the characters look nice, right? There's no doubt the characters look nice. I mean, look at the detail on Batman. He looks nice. A little bit. I mean, he looks better than I think he even looks better than Mortal Kombat 1 characters. You know what I'm saying? And there's even little 3D Riddler things on the floor. I mean, look at him. It's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Okay, that's number 2 on the list. Okay, that's number 2 on the list. So before we get to the number 2 spot, Psych! Did you really think Forever was gonna be number 3? Of course it's not number 3. Dynamite Heady here is the real number 3. Okay, I mean, look at this game. First off, you have the puppeteer stages, and this is a number. This is another one from Treasure here. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Look at the robots. Look at the use of color again. Okay, the use of color here. I mean, it looks beautiful. It really does look beautiful. Like, honestly, did you really think I was going to include Batman Forever as number 3 on the list? Did you really? Like, no. Dynamite Heady here, especially when something like Dynamite Heady exists, okay? Look at the color. Look at the giant robot, first off, right? And there's another effect that I'm particularly proud of here. Treasure really did, it can't be understated enough how good Treasure was at designing for the Sega Genesis. It just can't be understated enough. This game is beautiful, and the one of the sections I really want to highlight here, and I definitely think this deserves the number 3 spot. I mean, this is one of the sections right here. When the stage falls, look at this. Look how 3D that was. I mean, honestly, from the nice use of color to the facial animations to the 3D aspects of this game occasionally, it all looks beautiful, and that's why Dynamite Heady is number 3 on the list for best looking Sega Genesis games. So really quick, we have a few honorable mentions, and I have 3 of them. Number 1 would be Toe Jam Monero. I thought this game looked really nice. I mean, from the hand, like the drawn animations, and the time this came out in '91, I mean, it looked really nice. Okay, from the MTV style characters to the actual stages themselves, I thought this game looked really nice. It didn't look as nice as some of the other ones on the list that I was going to do, so it didn't make the cut. That being said, it's on the honorable mention list. Another one on the honorable mentions list would be, let's see if I can find it real fast. Let's see. Where would you be? Would that be it? I was just gonna cut, but then I was like, nah. Yeah, here it is. So another honorable mention on this list would actually be good old Sonic 3. Sonic 3 looked really nice, at least in my opinion. Even better than Sonic 1. But I knew I was going to include Sonic 1 because Sonic 1 had more of an impact when it came out. You know what I'm saying? It was still early in the Genesis life cycle. This was late, but it sold well. It did well. It just didn't do as well as I'd say the first or second game. I mean, it was there. But just with those being pack-in titles, more people owned Sonic 1 and 2 than owned Sonic 3. And Sonic 3, yeah, it's beautiful. It's a late title, you know what I'm saying? It's the last, technically the last classic Sonic game on Genesis if you don't count 3D Blast, you know what I'm saying? Some people count 3D Blast. I count 3D Blast. It is technically a classic Sonic game, but I mean, you can just see the detail on the bosses here. Sonic's detail has gotten much better, and in fact, this is how I prefer classic Sonic to look. But I mean, the game looked really good. Only reason I didn't include this was because it's a sequel, and we specified no sequels. You know what I'm saying? So that's. Make the the list, but I am gonna throw it here on honorable mentions just because it looks good. It looks fabulous. And our last honorable mention here today, before we get to the last number 2 on the list, Gunstar Heroes. Now listen, I know some of you thought this wasn't going to be in the video and thought it probably deserved to be in the video, and to tell you the truth, I think it deserved to be in the video. But at the end of the day, personally, I just feel Dynamite Heady looks a little bit better than this game. This was originally going to take Dynamite Heady's spot, and I didn't want to throw this in number 2, where McDonald's Treasure Land was, and I didn't want to put it on the list anyway, because, 3 treasure games, that's just really not fair. But there's some truly graphically impressive spots in this game, and from the little 3D cube desert man you fight at that one part in the stage, in the very first first stage. Among other things, this game is very graphically impressive. Just the amount of sprites they can have on screen, explosions, and all the chaos going on all the time looks really good, and it deserved a mention, but it just I don't think it came through. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I lied. We have 2 honorable mentions, okay? 2 more, just 2 more, okay? So the first one is Castlevania Bloodlines, and what makes this one so good looking, there are some of the special effects in this game, like spiral stairs, and some really convincing, almost like fake Mode 7, but it looks really good, okay? It looks really good, and I had to mention this, you know what I'm saying? I almost forgot about it, but I remembered that last moment while finishing up recording the last 2 parts of this video. But I remembered it, and I was like, no, it has to be on this list somewhere, so it needs to be in the honorable mentions section, okay? So that's Castlevania Bloodlines. Okay, so the last honorable mention was supposed to go to Castlevania Hard Corps, but for some reason it refuses to work for me. I don't know why. It used to work fine, but now all I get is this red screen, which is kind of stupid, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it incorporates a bunch of almost Mode 7 style, like bosses and things like that, and it's just overall genuinely fast and frantic, and it looks great, okay? It looks great, so that's why it also needed a spot on this list. That being said, well, I've already recorded this, but you'll see in a second the number 2 entries into the list. And for our number 2 spot, Duke Nukem 3D. Fully in 3D for the Sega Genesis. Now, I suck at this game is extremely hard. I can't even get past the first spot. I don't even bother playing this game. Like, literally, I can't even get past the very first door. I get past it occasionally, but there's no denying that Tectoy, this is an extremely late release. I'm talking 97, 96 for the Sega Genesis, and this was only released in Brazil via Tectoy, obviously, for the Sega Genesis. It's in full 3D. It looks great, and this isn't using any special chips, sets, or anything like that. It's literally just a release for the Sega Genesis, and it looks fabulous. You know what I'm saying? It's in 3D. It looks great. You know what I'm saying? The Duke's here, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't talk as much in this version. He does occasionally, but he doesn't talk as much in this version. I mean, it's all here, really. You know what I'm saying? It's in 3D. It looks great. It was the number 2 spot because it was something just beat it out early a little bit more. And I mean, it definitely deserves to be here. It's great. It was getting on this list regardless. No special chips or anything, fully in 3D. And the game by itself, I believe, isn't that good. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? It's not as good as the original Duke Nukem, you know what I'm saying? It is extremely graphically impressive, though, and the fact that they were even able to do something like this late Genesis years or not still impresses me to this day. So that's why I commend Tectoy, and this is why this gets number 2 on the list. That being said, let's move on to the one you've all been waiting for, the one, the only number 1. And number 1 is made by EA. F22 Intercept. Now, this game really isn't known that well. You know what I'm saying? It's not known that well. But it looks good, okay? We'll pick training. Oh, God. You press C and then you press A. Right? No, you press C and you press start. Right? What is it? Oh, wait. Maybe I'm supposed to press start first. Uh-huh. We'll pick the Russian campaign. And, I mean, as you can see right here, this is an early Genesis game, an early Genesis game. But, I mean, look at this. I want you to take a look at something. Look at us on our takeoff. While we're taking off, look at the game. A fully 3D experience on the Sega Genesis. Now, this is using nothing. Okay? I want you to keep that in mind. This isn't using anything. No special effects. No. This isn't using an SVP chip. In fact, this was a 1991 release. 91, as you can see, Electronic Arts. So they're not using any special technology. In fact, the SVP chip isn't even a thought in someone's mind right now. It just looks great. Okay, it looks great. The characters looks. Oh my god, man. There's multiple campaigns to choose from. The airfield has 3D buildings on it. If I can go over to one. Let's see if we can't turn over to one of these real fast. Let's see if we can get to this one over here. I mean, look at these. It has 3 fully 3D buildings. Do you see these buildings are fully 3D? The game itself is fully 3D. I mean, it runs at 1 frame per second. It feels terrible. It plays terrible. But, I mean, the game looks amazing. And there's no doubt this is the best looking Genesis game, at least graphics-wise, available. I mean, the enemies are in full 3D. Your ship is in full 3D. It looks amazing, and I really think more people need to talk about this. So you know what I'm saying. If you know any Sega YouTubers out there who have to talk about this, and I'm almost confident this is a PC game before being a Genesis game. But I mean, it looks great, and whether it's using type of special tricks to achieve its 3D or it's fully just a 3D Sega Genesis game, if in '91 something like this, it kind of flew under the radar. This is something this is something that the NES could never even dream of. You know what I'm saying? And it looks good. Now, originally, also by the way, that's really the end of this video. This game is the most graphically impressive Sega Genesis game out there. And to be honest, I hope you enjoy my list of the best Sega Genesis, the best looking Sega Genesis games out there. Now, this was a personal list, you know what I'm saying? There are a lot of titles that I could have included that I didn't. Say Streets of Rage, what's another one? Obviously Sonic 1, 2, and 3, but I included Sonic 1. Another one that I really should have included, and I really wanted to include, was one of my personal favorite, Road Rash 3. I think the game looks great, you know what I'm saying? It looks great, and it's almost in fully 3D, you know what I'm saying? Your bike's in 3D, the car is in 3D, the view is just great, the music is awesome, but we're not doing a review on the game. I've done countless reviews and talking about this game, but the cars, graphics-wise, it looks great, but I just didn't include it because I thought some other ones really felt like they deserved this, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you could consider this one of the honorable mentions, but there's some more I really didn't want to include, and to be honest, if you want me to do another one of these in the future, tell me some of your most graphically impressive Sega Genesis games down in the comments, and who knows, maybe one day, if enough people want it, I'll make a second one of these. But these were just my 10 favorite, best looking Sega Genesis games. This was my picks, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like something on the list and you feel something else should be on the list, that's fine, you know what I'm saying? And yes, I do know about other games. I forgot what that one game was called. That's similar to F-22 Interceptor, and it's also in fully 3D on the Sega Genesis. And I know about it. I didn't include it here, but I know about it. There's a lot more I can include in the future, is essentially what I'm saying to you. And there's also other titles I wanted to include, and I gotta be careful about this one right here. Let's see. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm pretty okay in showing this little room right here. There's also other games that were either homebrew or maybe even unlicensed games for the Genesis that I think deserve to be on one of these graphically impressive lists. One of these are Wolfenstein, and the reason I'm staying huddled in this room is I don't want to show any symbols, you know what I'm saying, that maybe YouTube won't agree with. Someone came in this room, didn't they? Yeah, he did. I'm gonna just take care of him real fast. I don't want to show any symbols that, you know, YouTube might not like. And if you've ever played Wolfenstein, you know what I'm talking about. But, I mean, that being said, there's other great titles out there that I really wanted to include that I didn't. Say Virtua Fighter and all that. So, I mean, maybe one day we'll do a couple more of these. One with off-brand, unlicensed, and homebrew games, and one with and one with more just Genesis games straight up that I wanted to include. That being said, if you're new here, if you could subscribe, that would be really awesome. We're trying to reach 200 subscribers, and we're only, I say, 7 subscribers away, 7, 6. Still haven't counted yet, something like that. But we're only 7 or 6 subscribers away. Make sure to subscribe to help us reach 200 subscribers. Make sure to share this video with your friends to become a Super Slayer. I've been the What's Cool Sega Enthusiast, Sega Slayer 64, and until next time, have a good one, Slayers.